Good morning, students. Welcome to this class. So, magnetism is over. Now, I discuss a different topic, which is a free electron theory of metals. In this semester, you will study three types of free electron theory. This is the first one, Drude-Lorentz free electron theory. That is called a classical free electron theory. This theory could explain many experimentally observed facts, but there are something which could not be explained based on this theory. Those things were rectified by quantum mechanical theory of free electrons that you will study later. Sommerfeld quantum theory of free electrons that also was able to explain some more experimentally observed facts, but certain other things could not be explained by Sommerfeld quantum theory. Another theory which successfully explains many experimental facts is band theory of solids. You might have already heard of it. Anyway, you will study band theory of solids in a little bit more detail later in this course. This classical free electron theory was proposed by Drude in 1900 in order to explain the conductivity of the metals. And Lorentz in 1905, he extended the theory to include thermal conductivity also. Now, in this theory, it was believed that in metals, electrons are detached from the parent atom and it can travel throughout the volume of the metal. When electrons are detached, atom become ion, and you know that in a solid, ions are having fixed position in the solid. So they will be fixed and electrons are free to move throughout the solid. It cannot escape the solid, but throughout the solid it can move. Just like gas molecules in a container. The number of free electrons per atom will be the valency of the atom. For example, sodium has got a valency 1. Outermost shell contains only 1 electron. So that will be easily detached from the sodium when sodium becomes a solid. And this electron will be free to move throughout the volume of the sodium. According to law of equipartition of energy, the energy of the electron half mv square is equal to 3 by 2 kT, because electrons are free to move in 3 dimensions. So they have got a 3 degrees of freedom, and energy per degree of freedom is half kT. That is the law of equipartition of energy. So it has got a 3 degrees of freedom. So 3 into half kT is the energy. So in this way, the average velocity, this is the average velocity. Electron can have a large number of velocities, but average velocity is given by law of equipartition of energy, that is 3 by 2 kBT, where T is the absolute temperature. Now let us see what will happen to metal if it is connected to a voltage source. If it is connected to a voltage source, definitely current will flow. And why current is flowing? It is because this voltage is creating an electric field inside the metal. If intensity of electric field is E, then force acting on electron will be minus E into capital E. That is minus E is the force, because intensity means intensity is the force acting on unit charge. So force acting on minus E charge will be minus E into E. So due to that force, electron will accelerate. So acceleration is, mass into acceleration is EE. So acceleration is EE by m. As electron is accelerated and it gets a higher and higher speed, it may make a collision with an ion inside the solid. Since electrons can scatter in random direction, when we take the average of all these scattered random direction velocities, then we should get 0. because all directions are possible, all velocities are possible. So if we take an average value, then final velocity will be 0. So we can say that electron accelerates for some time. When it makes a collision, final velocity is 0. Even though for individual electron it may not be 0, but on an average the final velocity is 0. Now assume that lambda is mean free path. What is mean free path? Mean free path is average distance between two collisions. Distance between two collisions may vary. It can have a very short distance to up to very long distance. So there will be an average distance at a particular temperature. So suppose that is lambda. If v bar is the average speed of the electron, then time elapsed between two collisions will be distance by velocity, that is a time, that is called tau. Tau is the average time between two collisions. Let us see what is the velocity gained by the electron during its travel before another collision. That can be calculated using the equation v is equal to u plus at. U will be 0 because after a collision, as I told earlier, it can have random direction. So if you take a average velocity after collision, it will be definitely 0. So from 0 it is again starting and gaining velocity up to a time tau. After time tau, it again makes a collision with another ion. So before that, what is the velocity gained? So it is u plus at. A is E by m, that is force by mass, that is acceleration. This is the tau, and this is the velocity of the electron. We can take that as the average velocity of the electron within the metal due to the application of electric field. This velocity is called a drift velocity. That is why there is a suffix d there. That's the average velocity gained by the electron due to the action of the electric field. If Vd is the drift velocity, then J is the current density. That is current per unit area. Current density is given by NEVD. Do you know this formula? If you don't know this relation, you can inform me. I will explain that in another class. Maybe 1 or 2 steps are required to explain that I am not doing right now. So if we substitute for Vd here, you will get a Ne square tau by m into E. This equation is of the form J is equal to constant into E, J equal to sigma E. So that sigma you can identify with Ne square tau by m, and sigma is actually the conductivity of the material. Actually this equation is Ohm's law. That Ohm's law was not familiar to you. You have studied this Ohm's law. V is equal to IR. For that you consider a conductor having length L and area of cross section A, and suppose a voltage source is connected. So current will flow in the opposite direction. I erroneously marked this in this direction. So it is actually in the opposite direction. So we have got a V is equal to IR equation, and voltage across the conductor will be equal to E into L. That is E into L is the voltage, where E is the electric field inside, because electric field is the force acting on unit charge, and the voltage is the work done to shift a unit charge from one point to the other. So work is force into distance, E into L. So this is the distance. So E into L is the voltage, and current is J into A. J is the current density, current per unit area. For unit area, current is J. So for A area, current is JA. So this current can be written as J into R. So we can rearrange this equation. You get you can take L to the denominator. So you get RA by L into J. And what is RA by L? This will be familiar to you. You have calculated the resistivity in lab, r pi r square by L. Area is actually pi r square for circular cross section. Do you remember that you have measured radius of the wire using screw gauge and substituted, and you get x pi r square by L or r pi r square by L. That is the resistivity. This is the resistivity. Ra by L is the resistivity into J, and 1 by resistivity is the conductivity. So let us take a rho to the left hand side. Then you will get a J is equal to 1 by rho into E, and 1 by resistivity is conductivity sigma. So we have the relation J is equal to sigma E, and if we get a relation of this type, J equal to sigma E, then sigma will be definitely conductivity. Now we come back here. We have got J is equal to some constant into E. That constant will be sigma, and that is the conductivity. So Drude-Lorentz theory predicts this conductivity for a material. Drude-Lorentz theory also explains Ohm's law. There is a basic explanation or microscopic explanation for the Ohm's law. You have studied Ohm's law without any proof. Even though it is called a law, it is not a law. It can be, we have seen that it is derived from some fundamental principles like electric field acting on free charges, and free charges moving, making collision with ions, and so many things. So this Ohm's law can be explained using the Drude-Lorentz theory, and the conductivity of a material is given by Ne squared tau by m, where N is the, I forgot to explain, N is the number of electrons per unit volume, E is the electron charge, tau is the average time between two collisions, and m is the mass of the electron.